how do you use new technologies in the construction, research, planning and evaluation stages? Well, for research we use YouTube, and that's a sort of a database of public videos and official videos.
Yeah, and it was very helpful in the sense that, because for example, in terms of research, the original song for Feeling Good was actually made for a musical in 1965. And through YouTube I was able to find the original song.
And like versions that have been done by
and
countless different artists.
Nina
Like,
Simone, Michael Bublé.
It seems to be a song that survived through through time, really, because it's been updated so many times.
But YouTube basically helped us identify the song, identify what version was the best to use, which we ended up with Muse, because we thought that was the most, I'd say, one of the most emotional in terms of what we wanted to convey to the audience.
It's the most popular in our target audience that we chose anyway. So.
Well, I don't only think it sort of helped us decipher what song we wanted to do, it helped us find the typical forms and conventions of music videos.
Yeah, that's also another thing.
And the genre
in
particular.
Not even just music videos, and not just in the indie genre, but let's talk about the genre in terms of Muse, because there are certain concepts that Muse use a lot, such as the basic, not even just basic videos, just basic, in their merchandise, they have the simple Muse sign with 2 lines above and below it. And through just looking at just little things on YouTube, some of their promotional products which were on display, some of their music videos in which their promotional products were on display, it just helps us in terms of research for ancillary tasks as well as the music video.
Well, I think a vital role in this whole production process is Premiere Pro and After Effects. It is how we've constructed our video, it's how we're constructing this vlog right now.
After Effects and the use of them. And for example, in one of the rough cuts in our music video, it just started out as a pan shot of of Nick and Luke. But then after we took a TV, which we actually took from a rubbish site, superimposed the image of the abandoned warehouse on it, and that was a really good effect, because it just helped. I just introduced the music video, I'd say.
I mean, it was using After Effects, and yet again, I sort of had to go to YouTube to learn tutorials on how to superimpose it. It was placing tracking marks on the shots to track the entire mini clip, and then from there on, After Effects did all the calculations and placed a superimposed image on the TV.
It's also the way you use sort of slow motion, and we're showing Charlie's sort of downward
slow
spiral.
down.
Yeah, the other
so it makes it more effective almost, instead of just having it in normal motion.
We can't forget the other After Effects, such as the colour correction. If you notice, all the band shots, they're slightly darker than the rest of the video, and that was actually done to just it helped to portray the kind of indie genre, more particularly the mood genre. Yeah, the somber mood, the kind of the more ominous mood that is present in a lot of the music videos that you see.
Is it quite dark? Not dark, but quite moody.
Typically, I think it sort of backs up the mise en scène that's used.
Because it really is actually a very dark song.
I mean,
and a very emotional song.
The raw shots we actually captured were quite bright and vibrant, and we sort of wanted to dull that down a bit.
Yeah, it was a good contrast.
Slow motion of Charlie throwing the bottle on the floor, smashing breaking the bat even on the television, stabbing the chair, throwing the bat against the window.
Very aggressive.
All of these showed the aggression, the rage, the emotion. It really helps convey all of that to the audience, who received it all individually, of course, but it just really helped. Because I don't recall anyone saying that they received it as happy or anything.
And I think they could.
Obviously, I don't think they could either. But it just really helped to convey all of those kind of negative emotions, which the actual song was generally reflecting anyway.
Yeah, because at that point in the song as well, the music sort of picked up and it built up this sort of
building the tension.
Yeah. So not only were the audience hearing it, but they're also seeing it as well.
We sort of took those key signifiers, the build-up of tension,
beats and stuff,
and then releasing it where he sort of falls backwards in the end into his bed.
Charlie's falling, that was we actually slowed that down as well, and that use of slow motion there, it was very like helpful, no, very important, I'd say, because at that part of the song, he's actually like falling down into the bed and you can hear the actual like very high note. That slow motion just helped
help the transition.
It did, and at the same time it slowed the tempo down, because it was kind of like his world is kind of like tumbling down and he's really just getting into like the whole reality of what's happened. And that slow-mo really helped to convey that to the audience, I feel. So Facebook and other like social networking sites, because even though we had each other's numbers, there were certain things that we couldn't get to each other.
Right.
Whereas if we went to Facebook, we could share pictures, we could arrange times to meet if someone's phone wasn't working.
It was just easier to contact people.
Yeah, it's just
And
communication.
considering we're most of the time on it, like
Yeah,
it's sort of
we're
an
young.
iconic thing for our time and generation. So
Going back to YouTube, like in terms of construction, Nick actually learned how to use the how to make a snorri cam, which was very, very helpful.
It's just by
In a
following
particular
the tutorial.
Just exactly by following the tutorial using pieces of wood.
Well done.
Now that's not new technology, but because YouTube taught him that, that was very helpful in terms
But
of research and planning and construction. Sorry.
I feel going back to the Facebook and YouTube as like sort of social network site, it sort of helps for the evaluation of the product. I mean, on Facebook we could create a survey.
And on YouTube, it would show us examples of how to use certain things. Like, yeah, you could have built the snorri cam, but on, like, for example, my blog, there's an example of someone actually using the snorri cam and the different ways to use it. And that was really helpful because it just helped us identify the right shots that possibly we could get.
it also helps with things like audience feedback. So
Yeah.
we could see
That's
where
what it
people thought. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Like
because
when people thought it was good, or people thought, oh, maybe you should change that, so it sort of fits more. Like looking at target audience helps to make the video better and make sure it goes to the right sort of.
And even on
Yeah.
YouTube, other people who you don't even know
People
could comment
from
on
around the
it,
world.
could give you advice, and there was just little things that we could pick up on by reading other people's comments on other videos, for example.
Yeah.
That also helped in the research and the like planning,
Yeah, that
because
was
now we
better.
knew. Oh, it's fine. Because now we knew what shots to get, how this shot could work, what shot could actually best portray this particular thing that we were trying to convey to the audience.
Yeah, when you said like on things like YouTube, where it branches out to different like people from different countries and stuff, that was like when I said I went to South Africa and I showed my family the music video, and one of my uncles, he was very shocked that Teo, the actor here, was beaten up by Charlie, the protagonist in the music video, because in their culture that would not be seen as ethical. And I guess if you had like nationwide feedback, you would probably get some of those comments, I think.
I mean, we might sort of interpret that as negative feedback, or we might like, shunt it because it's not really our culture, but it is.
It's just
All
interesting.
feedback is taken.
Yeah.